Hey guys, DJ from PTA. Wanted to go over this trade on HKD January 5th using the on-demand feature on Thinkorswim. Highly recommend it if you're going to go place over trades or just to learn how to do trading much better. It does give you the level 2 of being able to look through a trade and so on and so forth. I have no sponsorship with Thinkorswim, just giving advice because I use the product myself. So we're going to go over HKD. Want to remind you guys to make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification so you don't miss any of our new videos that are coming out. So I'm watching how the channel's a bit growing. We're starting to get people to look at the videos and stuff a little bit more, so that's greatly appreciated. So I see that there is some value in this coming into the new year. I was contemplating how much more effort, how much more energy I was going to place into the YouTube channel, but I seen people want it. Our Discord is increasing as well, so we really appreciate that, guys, and just showing them much love, and I'm glad that I'm able to give this information out to help people. So but guys, if you get a moment, we are on multiple platforms. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We put a few funny things and stuff like that. That's one of the channels that we really don't do that much on. But the one channel we do a lot on is the Twitter account. So do follow us on Twitter at Trading Precise. That will enable you to see some of these videos. I do post them on there, as well as see some of the commentary and information that we put on there. So guys, this HKD trade was a really interesting trade, mainly because of the amount of float it had. It had about 187 million float, the shares outstanding on it. But what was interesting about it was a little bit over 1.8 million in volume coming into the day. So I knew that this must have had some type of momentum or something going on. It had hit its yearly low the day before. So it was one of those things where this was setting up to be a decent trade. It relatively had some decent news. Wasn't a lot of big hoopla noise. I don't think a lot of people are watching it simply because of the float, because those people are looking for low float runners. I also feel that because of the pricing, it was one of those stocks that a lot of people aren't looking at. Most people are looking for lower price stocks. You know, those penny stocks, any stocks under $5. Those type of things is what people look for when it comes to trading and looking for a nice or a more aggressive move. So I think entirely this played out to be a really good trade. So I'm gonna go over the trade, kind of break it down like I normally do. Not gonna be much a long video. I'm just gonna kind of go over what the things I was looking at when I saw it. I hadn't placed any trades on this particular stock. I do have some videos where I did place some trades that will be coming out shortly, but it's really time consuming trying to do the YouTube trade as well as train new trainers and meeting with all the different pieces of the puzzle. So I'm getting better at it. I'm getting more on point with it. So hopefully here in the next month or so I have someone else helping me on the YouTube channel, so that would be a great treat. So HKD on this particular trade, it was a pretty good trade all the way around. But the biggest thing is looking at your key areas. And as I always tell people, you know, you want to know where it is coming from. And this stock has just been falling. So much of the key areas were printed out on this chart. Basically, put that at 16. Basically, those key areas were all in the areas where you've seen a lot of pull down action. So this right here was a big area. This 30-30. We just call that 30-30 to make it easy. That was a big area there. We had a nice push down. You had a big rejection here. Just look at the rejection on the candle here. We'll just put that at 26.50 for easy numbers. And then we had a nice little rejection here. And then we had a little rejection here. So this is 2030, 2380, 16 area, and then previous month high 1850. So those are our key areas from the higher time frame. Now again, guys, I usually boil down to the 30-minute to kind of get a synopsis. Again, going back over pre-market, was sitting at 1.8 million. Now, one of the interesting things about this stock was yesterday's volume was only about 366,000. The day ended out volume around 40 million, so a massive amount of volume. And even last week, we had already matched. Last week's volume was 1.3, and we matched that in pre-market. So it's definitely something on the move, something on the lookout that people had their eye on. So the key to it all was waiting for it to really set up. So the first 30 minutes kind of set your high and your low. What you can see right here that the $16 market kind of just bounced off of that, as you can see here. Breaking this down on the 5-minute, you got your key areas. So you always, looking at those trades from those areas. So we got us a pullback, nice little pull down right at it. This low was $15.92. $16. This is right where it broke out. So remember, previous resistance becomes new support. It broke out, created a new high for pre-market, pulled back to that resistance, now made it support, bounce. So you had your first leg up, orders coming in the first hour. Look like we experienced 935, no hawk. So we end up getting a push to a high. So we marked that high for the day, blew out pre-market high, and then it settled. It fell back. But this began the first leg of the move. So once you have already identified that your low is here, it's not reaching back to that area from a higher time frame, you start to take a look at this a little bit closer. So when you look at this, you can see the wedge forming. We had us a nice pullback, and then we had a bounce, another pullback before we go. So now if we go down to the 1-minute and really look at the price action on this, it tells you a good story. So right here, as you can see, we had some consolidation happening here. Quick pop up, couldn't really hold, but it was a nice move from the low 1680s up to 23. But we had to wait for that price action. So when it actually pulled back into support, it made what you would call an intraday support. So this intraday support, if we take a look at it, was about right there. So that was 1720. So when I went back to review the tape, 1720 just kept recycling, it just kept rebidding as if someone was buying there. As the stock pulled back up, we go back into that pre-market area. Right here was pre-market high. We bust through that area again. Remember, 2030 is from the previous areas of interest that we had some pull down. So just imagine those people trying to get out of their position if it bounced a squeeze. It basically, they did an over under on a 20, and then it started using pre-market as support. So now you had a step up here, step up there from major support areas. So remember this area here, we're gonna paint that purple because that's intraday. So right there, you had you a nice little pullback, and then you got the ramp. So the big area of interest was right here. Once it got over here and retested, it took off. Now, you got to think, it's coming from 21 into the 23. It couldn't get there before, so this was a key area to watch. When it broke, cracked resistance, came back, held it as support, cracked, did the same thing, came back to the support. This is where probably a lot of traders, if they missed the first leg, they got in here at the second leg. I don't always advise that, just because you don't really know how it's going to react. But what you have in support off of 2380, massive volume, decent news, it was probably going to squeeze out. So traders jumped in somewhere around this 2650 area, again based off of higher time frames resistance, and then it actually broke into the 30-30 and then ran to 37. So this was a really good move. One of the traders I was looking at actually got in around this area here, which was about that 2130. He was risking to this 19 area, knowing that he had, okay, I got a $2 risk, so I'm gonna try to go for a 3-to-1, 4-to-1. You know, a 4-to-1 on a $3 risk is $12. So you're looking at, 21 to 37 was a nice move. And a lot of times that's a secret that you can look at when it comes to stocks. If you're looking at your risk, you should be getting 3-to-1, 4-to-1. And when the stock runs past 4-to-1, at that point in time, you probably just need to start taking profit. So at literally 20, let's say 21, 22 would, $2 stock, 4-to-1 will be $8. So from 21 or 22, we'll just call it 21.30. $8 would be about 29. 29 would land you right before the next resistance. So remember that when you're trading and you're looking at these different areas, knowing where support and resistance were previously helps out a lot, because massive amount of traders are using that. That's like the bare minimum project is really support and resistance. So if you don't know anything else about trading, if you can manage to always try to either enter or get in around support or resistance, exiting out around support or resistance on the long side, if you're getting in on support around on the long side, you're going to pretty much have a successful trade, because either it's going to come back and respect the support and get you out, or it's going to continue on and reach to the next area of resistance. If you know where those areas are, then you can eye it. If you see it's holding in a support area, such as this 2380, if you had got in here, you could have easily added into this push, especially outside of 2650, because your next exit would have been somewhere around 30. So you want to make sure you know where the support and resistance, get an idea, get comfortable with those areas, because then you will know. So when this bust out from 30 and ran $7, now it's got to come back. So when it came back, it came right back to support. This became resistance, became new support. It supported it there. But as you can see, if you're looking at this, and let's take it out to a higher time frame, you can actually see that it started to do a decline here. So it was using this 30 as an area for resistance. It resisted it here, resisted it there, and coming into the close. So if you're looking at it from a smaller time frame, this will allow you to understand that, like, okay, this stock is actually using this area as support or resistance. And this is the reason why you want to wait. You want to be patient with your trades, because ultimately it will tell you where you need to get in at. So right here, you've seen that it came back in respect, but it could not get higher. It probably bounced, and then it tried to get out that high, which would, ideally get shorts, actually long traders involved, but the shorts took over. As soon as it hit that resistance, as we always talk about, it hit a clobber of stop losses, because everybody had a stop loss right here. So when it hit that, it just fell very quickly and then chased back down to the 2650. So just from here to here, I mean, you're talking about 31, 30, you're talking about $1 risk, and it moved $4. Again, that 1 to 4, 1 to 3, it's always going to play out that way, because that's just what the nature of traders are looking at. Is that 3-to-1, 4-to-1 trade that allows them to be able to get in and get out, low risk, high reward. Because you take this trade, this is low risk, high reward. So ultimately, that was the key area. So guys, when you're looking at trading, make sure you're looking at your support and resistance. Make it simple. As you can see, we don't have 50, 60 different indicators or anything like that. I'm usually just looking at 1 or 2 different things. I'm looking at volume, I'm looking at price action, I'm looking at support and resistance, and I'm seeing where the stock is coming from. And I try to get in at a good spot, and IDing those good spots is always good based on support and resistance. All right, guys, if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you don't miss any of our videos. And as I tell old traders and new traders, stay studying and stay focused.